boss fights. It's a lot
Oh,
of just
there's a ton.
Oh, well, Witcher has like a good amount of boss fights, but like here's the thing about it: like you play it right, and it's all about the world, and like you're just gonna like stumble onto quests and all that. And, like I'm so glad that just like as we're recording this, I'm just like trying not to crack out on Blood and Wine, which like just released, and it's like oh god, I want it so bad.
I mean, there is like Mitch is right. Dark Souls is a lot of like boss fights, but there is like you go through certain places, you find you do these little quests with these characters that help you and give you items, stuff like that. But it is more about the fighting the bosses, because in the end, I think they give you something. They give you like a soul that you do something with it, and then something happens at the end because like the bosses give you something. That's why they're all boss fights.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, it's fun. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I thought it was gonna be hard.
Hopefully it's better than Bloodborne, because I didn't like the true ending where you become the very thing you wanted to slay.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't play Bloodborne, but I haven't finished it yet. I'm almost kind of done, but it's fun. Like I thought I was gonna hate it because everybody says it's hard and everything, but it
The
becomes
only
easy.
thing is it's just faster than Dark Souls. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, see,
it's
that's
just
what I
faster.
like about Dark Souls is the speed, or like of Bloodborne. I love the speed of it. Like I don't feel like I'm just like this brooding, slow asshole. You know, I'm like, ugh.
I'm a mercenary in my world, and then I'm really fast with like a strong axe that I can put on fire. So it's pretty dope. Yeah, it reminds me so much of Dungeons and Dragons because I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't played in a while because it takes a toll on you. It's like a commitment playing Dungeons and Dragons. So me and my friends haven't played in a while, but it just reminds me a lot of that. It's just except you can actually visualize and
Right.
control your character instead of just talking about it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I don't know. I guess here. This is the intro to the show. Hopefully, you guys enjoy 2 minutes of Bloodborne and all that junk. So, of course, I'm your host Armin. I'm here with Mitch,
What's up?
Joe,
Up.
and Tristan.
R.I.P. Winston. Never had a chance.
Well, okay, so yeah, we got literally a fucking skeleton show for you guys this week. So I really scraped the bottom of the shit barrel for this one. So
Yep.
yeah. So pretty much, let me just announce right off the bat. First, let me say something. If you end up winning one of the codes, this might be a little bit more to go out of the way to redeem it, but this is how you have to do it. You have to use Internet Explorer, because a lot of those websites where you redeem the codes, they're not optimized for Google Chrome, and a lot of people are using pop-up blocker, which has to be enabled for it to open up like iTunes or one of those softwares to let you redeem the code. So please use Internet Explorer, which is the most basic thing, or like whatever the hell equivalent is on Windows 10. I think they renamed it, probably.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
I
don't remember going.
Whatever it is, use the official Microsoft one, if only to redeem the codes. So the other one has been sent. So obviously this week we said we're gonna give away the Revenant on digital. So this one, oh hell yeah. So really good comment last week was Shriek Attack. He really went in on here, wrote a couple paragraphs, really goes on and talks about everything that we talked about, his thoughts on it. So really good comment. So you're going to win a copy of The Revenant on digital. So there's that for you. And for next week, I'm going to announce a double copy of what is happening. So you're
Nice.
going to win, one, a movie, which is of course In the Heart of the Sea. Second, another person, so 2 victories next week, is going to win the Witcher Blood and Wine expansion pack for PlayStation 4.
Nice.
So you're just gonna win the digital code. There it is. So 2 gifts, next week. So make your comments good, and I'm mainly doing that because this show sucks. So you'll have more reasons to make better comments for the crap topics we have for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So in
Or
other
worse
words,
topics.
there could be. I mean, what you guys been up to?
Just I already said what I've been up to. None but Dark Souls. What about you
Just
guys?
the Dark Souls, huh?
I watched the Monaco race, and that's it.
So,
Oh yeah.
I got depressed over the weekend because of X-Men.
Oh,
I mean, if we
I
talk,
forgot about that.
if there's any talk of it, I won't be saying anything just because I haven't seen it. I'm
So-
seeing it today.
For the people that want to know, yes, the show will bookend with somewhat X-Men talk when I talk about the box office and our initial thoughts for it. We're not doing a separate spoiler cast on everything just because well, if you've seen a trailer, that's the entire movie sort of, so there's not really to tell you.
It's true.
But overall, Mitch, yeah, that monocle race was great. So yeah, that's what I did.
What's funny is my pops saw that I did it. He's way more into racing than I am. I don't know. Like
it was such mixed emotions though. It's like I wanted Lewis to win, who did win it, but it would have the guy in the Red Bull who got fucked over again.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
Didn't it rain? I remember saw a tweet
yes,
from Mitch that it rained. You're like hoping for like
it was
a crash.
quite amazing because like they started off rainy and then it got really sunny. Then they had to end all rainy.
Yeah, it's the best. The only time in Monaco gets a good race is when it rains.
Nice.
I saw some tweets saying like Top Gear got ruined.
Oh,
wait.
No, didn't you like Top Gear, Mitch? Like,
yeah, I did. It was great. Now it's worse than the US version. Which
I think you.
I find that fucking
America.
hard to believe. Like that's hard to fucking believe.
It is absolutely woeful.
Oh my god. How can that
It's
even
so
be possible?
Well, they got Matt LeBlanc on there. They got
Chris Evans.
It's not the Chris Evans.
It's not Captain America though.
It's like a skinny, pale ginger guy who likes cars. And this it's just terrible.
Well, I look up Top Gear, right? And the first news piece is Top Gear opens with lowest audience in a decade.
Good, because it fucking looks like trash.
Even though apparently they won their time slot, it's just like no.
I mean, their time slot's like 1 a.m.
No, it's, it was 8 o'clock on a Sunday.
Or I was about to say their only competition was the George Lopez show, so that still comes out on Nick.
It's one of those things where it's like I like Top Gear, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch the new episode. Like, 'cause I have it, but that's
literally just wait for the new one from Amazon to come out.
Yeah.
No. What I'm trying to watch is those other sci-fi shows because I caught up to 12 Monkeys and it got pretty good. I was like, oh
yeah, that show's great.
Cole is my man. Him and Ramsey.
Cole, you mean Pyro from X-Men?
You know, he reminds me of Sebastian Stan as the Bucky. Like, the first time I saw him, I was like, is this guy like Sebastian Stan? Like, he seems a little weirder, but he reminds me of, like, Bucky Sebastian Stan.
I also heard that Limitless got canceled.
Yeah, so sad, man. Like,
I came in at the right time. Yeah, I'm upset about Limitless.
It's good. It was good, but and the people behind it care, like Bradley Cooper and his production team. They care about wanting to do good with it. I think it just fell short because of the whole 23 episodes. Like, maybe they should have stuck to a limited series with this and just stick to straight like a story.
I don't know. I think the first half of the season was the weakest half. I think it only hit its stride in the second half of its season. Like, if it had only had a half series order, I think it would have never found that level of awesomeness that it reached by the end.
I think most shows should just go for 10 to 12 episodes and get it over with. Like, I hate the concept of more than 10.
This show took more than 10 episodes though to really find its voice. If you know what I mean.
I'd agree. But at the same time,
if it was on a second season. Now that'd be a different story.
But at the same time, Limitless is one of those things I think people fell off when it started getting a little bit too goofy, and that was because
when I loved it.
No, I know, I loved it both sides, but it's just the main character is a goofy character, and sometimes he gets put in serious situations, but it's because he is a goofy, friendly character and morally good that you get with his character, that you follow him, but. At the same time, I think it's the goofiness that some people didn't like, or it just went off the rails.
I tell you what I loved, though, as a Dexter fan, I loved that the actress that played Deborah in Dexter was in this. And I loved that they actually partnered her up and had her dating the same actor who played Detective Quinn in Dexter as well. And it was like, I guess they patched it up, and then Quinn died.
Let me ask you guys a question, though, because obviously, science fiction is in a full swing in the last year, and now it's it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys noticed all the new TV pickups with the huge success of time travel with 12 Monkeys?
Yes.
There was 4 new time travel TV shows coming this fall. I'm like, oh my god! Stop! It's.
Yeah,
Well, how many zombie shows were there when Walking Dead first started?
Jesus.
Well, I mean, we're back in that time of the big sci-fi era because there was a time where it was like back in the like mid 2000s. I would assume, right? Because if I remember correctly, it was like
it's like 2006. So like after like no-oneizing movies became a thing, like everything wanted to be a gritty thing on TV too, and like realistic, and like sci-fi fizzled away. And now I'm just like, I'm glad that I can literally turn on my TV and every week there's like 12 science fiction shows. I'm like, fuck yeah.
That trend didn't start though. 2006, I mean, yeah, it started going gritty, and then the sparkly vampire craze started, and suddenly we had like 1,000 versions of Twilight on television. It was just like...
But I'm excited to... Because I know Armin says good things about The Expanse. I'm going to start that. I'm going to start The Magicians, which I think Tom has mentioned before. But
I watched the pilot and I thought it was garbage, but so many people have told me that it's amazing. I just thought the acting was diabolically bad.
That's what everybody says. So everybody I talked to that watched it, they're like, okay, the acting and the effects are cheesy, but once you get past that, it can't be fun. I'm like, I'll give it a try at some point.
Yeah, I gotta give it a try.
If you want really bad acting, watch that Rush Hour TV show.
Oh, that
was terrible. Yeah.
It's sad because some people, when I saw like Limitless, Rush Hour, they all got canceled by CBS, right? Some people were like, well, see, these were doomed to start because they were based off a movie. No, Limitless was actually a continuation of the movie, so it made sense. But Rush Hour was just, it's like I think they're doing, it's not Point Break, I think they're doing Lethal Weapon as a TV show, which is completely dumb because they're not going to get the same chemistry from the two actors who did the movie, similar to Rush Hour, because Rush Hour, they were just doing a freaking like impression of Chan and Tucker, and it just didn't make sense. And I feel bad for the actors because they were trying their best, but the creators just wanted an impression.
They weren't trying it.
Probably. But I mean, you can't get the charm of Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan has a certain charm that nobody else could get.
He's just one of those guys that when he you just look at him and you can't help but smile for some reason. Like he just seems like that sort of presence on screen.
It also seemed
you can't help but smile at a Jackie Chan movie. You just can't.
But it also seemed like the guy who was playing like the Jackie Chan character was not faking, but he was doing the Asian accent. Whereas Jackie Chan, it's like him straight up, where he can't speak good English. But this guy seemed like he was doing an impression of an Asian accent or Chinese accent where he can't do good English.
Yeah. He probably grew up in Beverly Hills. Probably never saw another Asian person outside of his family.
I'm just waiting for them to announce like a reboot of like Police Academy or something. It's like this is gonna go fucking nowhere. And like like it's gonna be politically correct. So it's the first episode's being like, oh no, you shot the black kid. What now?
Whatever happened to the Beverly Hills Cop show that was supposed to be starting?
Oh,
did that ever come of anything?
I think it did.
Eddie Murphy was supposedly attached as executive producer, but he wasn't going to appear. That was years ago now. I bet that must have just died.
I don't know, but we got to put a stop to these TV shows that are being based off movies because they're for one season. No, but they're for most of them are for one season and get canceled.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. I know there is some that are based, like 12 Monkeys is technically based off a movie, but it's because it tried doing its own thing. And
it's complete. Like the concept is the same, but everything is different. Like every single aspect. It's why it works. You know?
Fargo. Fargo works because it's not just taking off the one Fargo movie. It's like a take off every Coen Brothers movie ever made, pretty much.
Well, if you do that, like if you get like the concept of something, but then make it your own on TV show, it works.
No.
But if you just try to do what the movie did, it doesn't work.
Did you guys see the new trailer to the new MacGyver? Look,
no,
I've heard it's bad.
It's starring the dude from frickin' X-Men Apocalypse and all the X-Men movies. What was his name? Havoc, right?
Havoc, yeah.
So here's the thing: the trailer starts and they're like, "You know his name," but it's a complete reboot and not a continuation. I'm like, then you don't know his name because it's not the MacGyver. Come on.
No, isn't he playing MacGyver's son?
No, it's not in continuity at all.
See, I can't take MacGyver seriously. I just hear MacGyver, MacGyver. And Selma has 24 hours to live.
Oh, gross.
See, I feel like that's a show you should keep back in the past, and if you're going to make something similar, just do anything else.
Yeah.
MacGyver. I saw a show. Oh, go ahead.
I might be in the minority, but I really liked the MacGruber movie based on the Saturday Night Live sketches.
Well, I don't know.
I've never seen
it. Val Kilmer played a villain in it named Kunst.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole way through the movie is like, what is your plan, Kunst? It's stupid, but it's really funny.
You could take that MacGyver aspect and put it to almost anything. Like the show called Burn Notice. It was a spy who on the run who was MacGyver. He's a MacGyver spy. There's a show called Royal Pains. He's a MacGyver doctor because he was just helping people like with stuff around the house. There's shows you can do anything. Like you can make a MacGyver accountant. You can, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like MacGyver's that one you don't touch, but you. I mean, it could be alright, but it probably could suck.
I mean, they tried to like reboot, you know, like Flash Gordon on Sci-Fi a couple years ago, maybe like 6 years ago. Yep. That failed. What else? Knight Rider tried to get a reboot. Like, what the fuck happened to that?
Oh god, I remember that.
Oh,
hey,
Jesus.
Let's just hope. Star Trek doesn't get canceled at CBS.
Oh, please don't. I can't wait for that.
No, don't even start that. That's my nightmare. Like, it comes out, it's really good, but no one watches it. I will fucking cry.
Now, it
won't matter because it's for their on-demand service, isn't it? It's the new what is it? CBS
yep, it's
stream,
online only. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I haven't looked into it. But is it its own thing, or is it doing the Star Wars Marvel thing where it's part of the Star Trek?
Here's the thing. Let me
it's
try
in the Prime universe, it seems.
Let me explain this to you. So Star Trek obviously has the original continuity, right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes in the future, Romulus and Remus, like the two planets that the Romulans are on, blow up, and Spock is sent back through time, and that's where the J.J. Abrams movies happen. Well, here's the complications. The Paramount owns the movie license, and they're only allowed to do movies and not reference the TV shows. CBS owns the TV shows and are never allowed to reference the movies. So the new TV series is in the old continuity, while the new movies are in their own continuity, and the new movies can never go back to the old one.
But what I want to know is
that's fine with me. Keep them separate.
Is it in that old continuity? Like, is it after a certain movie? Is it before? Like...
It's after Next Generation. If you read the tie-in comic, what is it, Star Trek Countdown, that was released before J.J. Abrams' first movie, there's a whole plot line involving Picard and Data and Worf.
See, that's the thing. And apparently the new TV show is going to be an anthology. So the first season is going to be after the original, but before Picard. And then they're going to jump around different timelines.
Oh, so I like the anthology.
That is awesome.
TV shows. I think who did it first? Who the one who did American Horror Story, right?
Oh,
I feel
good.
I feel the anthology aspect he brought on to TV show is really going to work well for a lot of creators and when they're making TV shows, because now they can do a single focused closed season and then do another one that's similar but maybe with different characters.
And that way, like, it won't get stale to a degree, you know, because you can just tell different adventures. You could be like, oh, fine, they're over here, and, you know, different enemies. It's like, okay, this makes sense, you know?
Yeah, so I like that aspect to it, but it's a weird predicament they're in where this is in the old continuity, and then you know people are gonna ask like, oh, where's this in continuity? It's like, no, this is in the old one, because in the day and age of Star Wars and Marvel, it all has to be.
Oh, everything's got to connect now. Every single
so that's
thing,
what people are gonna ask. But
the way you can tell though who's been a Star Trek fan for a long time are the people who don't get confused by the continuity. Because Next Generation had an episode with something stupid like 1,000 alternate realities all at once, and the Enterprises just spawning around them. It's like 100 Enterprises. Like, it's not thought of as one of the great episodes, but to be honest, I actually quite like it.
I remember that. Well, it's one of those things where I think continuity is an important thing in any medium. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, a movie should all connect some way or another. Don't be like bullshit. Don't be like that guy that's like, well, I'm making my own thing and it stands on its own. It's like, no, you got to connect to a franchise if you're making a franchise movie.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if they want to make a franchise out of Star Trek, why don't they just pick up the old spin-off that they tried doing?
Oh yeah.
And it failed because they made a backdoor pilot in an episode of the original series for like a spy thing set on Earth. If they're that desperate to have Star Trek related like spin-off stuff, just make that.
Seriously.
People would watch it. It's just a spy movie, but with like set in the Star Trek universe, albeit before the spaceships and shit are invented.
Yeah. Well,
I'd watch it. Especially if Kirk and Spock come back in time and interfere with their plans and shit. Like, that'd be awesome. Spock with his like woolly hat on, covering his ears. It'd be great.
Oh, God. So, speaking of time travel, you know who's not going to be time traveling? The Hulk, because he's apparently going to Planet Hulk storyline. Huh?
Oh, yeah, the rumors came back.
Yeah.
Again.
And this time it's not El Maimba, though, so I'm more inclined to believe it.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
So is that like where we're going to meet him in Thor Ragnarok, and Thor is going to see him, and he's going to be like, what are you doing here, man? Hey, I got stuck here. Can I get a ride? And then he puts like his thumb up. Like, that's what I
His giant green thumb.
Yeah.
Thor's going to be bald in this as well, so.
He's all,
Maybe what?
Tony said we were going for a road trip, but he just left me here.
So
I just imagine. stuff
okay, I
like
mean,
that.
if this is the news, this is like what I'm kind of picturing in my head as the movie. Like, it opens up, Thor is on Asgard, he's doing, Odin's bidding, which is literally Loki, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he does something wrong, they banish him again, he has no way out because his hammer is broken, he can't contact Heimdall, and upon his travels, he finds Banner in an arena, the two have to battle out, and then they go on that road trip, they get back to,
Oh.
Asgard, and it's like, you brought Ragnarok here. We're fucked. And then it's like, the rest of the movie. Like, that's what I picture in my head, so...
I would like to see Thor go on a journey without the hammer, but he kind of already did that in Thor 1, so it kind of feels like...
Yeah, but Thor 1
Yeah.
was his journey to getting the hammer back. If
Oh,
it's
yeah,
broken,
this-
he can't get it back.
See, I would like, because this would be something that I liked in Iron Man 3, where we saw Tony do what he was doing without the Iron Man suit, and if Thor can do the things he can do without the hammer, it means that he doesn't need the hammer, but it's extra. You know what I mean? So he can do this on his own. He doesn't need the comfort and safety of the hammer. But I'm pretty sure he's just a regular human. That's why it would be kind of weird. But
No, he's not.
no, I mean he's not a regular human, but he's as weak. Kind of.
No,
as,
no,
like,
no, he's not.
Oh no,
So
Thor
so
is
strong with his
Thor is
hands.
nerfed significantly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if what they say is apparently some, object of great power falls into his hands that he has to get back. So it's like, okay, so that's going to be one of the Infinity Stones? Maybe? I don't...
Wait,
Like-
how was he not? How is Mitch? Tell me how he's still pretty strong without the hammer.
Thor's power doesn't come from the hammer.
But didn't he barely
Yeah.
won against in Thor 1 against the people who were guarding the hammer?
Yeah, but
No,
he
took them
stripped
down
of
so
power.
easily.
He was
And he was stripped
power.
of all of
No.
Odin took all of his power.
That's what I was imagining, not just like
Even
him.
without his power, he took them down pretty easy.
See, but that's what I was imagining him without his power, basically, and because I thought I forgot because I'm referencing the first movie where he didn't have his hammer, but that's because he got his power stripped. So,
Yeah.
okay, I get you. Go ahead. I mean, you're gonna say my bad.
Well, so, I don't know, just like... What do you guys think the big thing? Because they're saying he's going to have like this great object of power. Do we think they use an Infinity Stone in here? Or, since we know there's 2 Infinity Gauntlets in the MCU, does he maybe have to hold one of them while Thanos has the other one? And like, I don't know, like which way do they take this?
It
Like,
could be something as simple as he gets the axe. Was it
oh
Jotun?
shit, yeah.
Was it Jotunborn or whatever it is, or the sword that pulled to unleash Ragnarok? I think it could be that.
That'd be fucking epic.
Quick question, just purely because I don't know that much about Thor. Does he still have like lightning powers without the hammer? Because it always seems to be directed through the hammer in the movies. It's always confused me.
The lightning comes from the hammer.
See, that's a shame. Because I thought he was the god of like, yeah.
Well,
lightning or whatever.
he is the god of thunder because of the hammer.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong with that. That's what I thought.
Well, also this
I
is the
bet
MCU,
there's comics that
so,
contradict it constantly.
Oh, of
Oh,
course,
there's-
of course.
The comics.
Oh, don't be surprised if there is. But
Fucking comics.
like it's one of these weird things where like Thor, like I said, I really enjoyed. I think it's a good movie series, but I don't think it's great like all the other Marvel series. That they have. I think it's like my least favorite one. So, I mean, I
Thor
understand
1
why
is
they-
in my top 5, but the others aren't. Thor 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel weird about it. And like shoving Hulk in there seems like it's a kind of, hey, look, we need a team up movie because every movie's now a team up movie. So, I mean, I'll be excited as anybody to see a fucking version of Planet Hulk just because I actually genuinely enjoy that story and I love that comic.
Planet
arc.
Hulk with Jeff Goldblum being the guy in the arena behind everything.
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
That's the rumor apparently.
That's
Oh,
it.
but
I'd have Jeff Goldblum playing the fucking planet. Just make it a talking planet. That happens in the Marvel universe.
What ego?
Yeah, the whole time, like Hulk's on the planet, and it's like a giant Jeff Goldblum head just talking to him. I'd love that.
I want to see Hulk kind of just fight again the same way he did in the Incredible Hulk when he was going 1-on-1 with Abomination.
Same here.
And he hasn't really done that yet. It's because I don't think he's really fought anybody that needed that kind of fighting. So
Yeah, the
if there
only
is a
thing
Planet
like
Hulk,
close to that would probably be Hulkbuster, but that's not even a mindless beast. It's still Tony
Yeah.
Stark in there. So
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why
And
Planet Hulk would be along that lines.
Plus, Hulk wasn't really in his right mind as well because he was under Scarlet Witch's influence. So he was a different. He was fighting different to what we usually expect Hulk to
here
fight.
we
So it was a lot
go.
more brutal.
fucking El Armino El Scupo right now, right? Check this out. So Thor is going to come across Bruce Banner all hulked out, fighting the MCU version of Fin Fang Foom in the arena. That's fucking it. He's going to fight a dragon. I'm telling you right now.
If there's any place to put Fin Fang Foom, it'll be there.
Exactly. It's like perfectly ridiculous to put him in there.
I'd pay to see the movie for that sequence alone, honestly.
Oh, yeah. And then it's going to turn out that Fin Fang Foom is actually a robot and he's just being orchestrated by the real Mandarin.
Oh.
Oh. And then people can be like, oh, he has the fucking rings and he can shoot shit. He's so iconic.
I'd be
it's
happy
not
if
a
they never
racist
bring
because
the
he's an
Mandarin back.
actual alien.
Oh, imagine that. George Lucas finds his way in there and he makes the Mandarin just look like those fucking Trade Federation guys from episode 1. It's like, oh my god.
Oh, God. What's wrong with your face?
I'm down for this. I like this idea.
I would definitely watch this movie.
So anybody else got anything they want to talk about Hulk appearing in Thor or anything Thor related?
Since he wasn't in Civil War, I'm glad he's in this.
Huh?
What's come out today has got me a bit more optimistic for the movie, but I don't know. There's so much stuff that they're putting in this. I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off, but
Yeah, that's my thing. Yep.
I was down for the movie the moment they said it was 90% set off of Earth. As soon as they said that, I was just like, yeah I'm in.
Yeah, because it's Thor, and that's a character that can be outside in space for like forever. Really, he doesn't really need to come to Earth till Avengers time. So you know.
I mean, Thor: The Dark World. If you removed all the Earth stuff and just had the Dark Elves like attacking Asgard, that would be such a better movie.
Yeah, because they felt like they needed to, you know, and I understand, like, you know, the MCU started relatively like grounded, you know. It's like, okay, we have Iron Man 1 and 2, and like then you expand Captain America. It's like, okay, still grounded. And then Thor was still on Earth, so that was kind of grounding the character. It's like, no.
People were worried about Thor, though. They thought
they
moving into the more magical, cosmic side of the MCU was going to ruin things, but it actually just widened it up to.
Because wasn't it directed by Kenneth Branagh? So
yeah, Shakespearean director.
So, yeah, that's why. Like, he brought in a great director to make sure it works out well. And then I really don't know this new director's stuff, but he does seem like out there, I think, probably in his directing. So it could work. I mean, I'm kind of excited because if it is 90% off Earth and all this stuff, it could be like the best Thor movie we've had. Because, I mean, it's not like it has competition in Thor movies, to be honest. Like, Thor 1 is the better one.
Yeah.
So
Thor 1 is in my top 5, but yeah, it's not a great movie. It's a really entertaining movie. It's nothing special.
In your top 5 MCU movies, Thor 1?
It's in my top 5 MCU movies.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I don't know.
I
mean,
although those top 5 do change, but Thor typically.
I will say it's in my top 10, but then again, there's only 13 to go with, so that's not really the biggest praise. But
so you guys are gonna hate me. Civil War's not on my top 5.
That's fine.
I've watched it a couple of times since, and my opinion has dropped a bit each time I watched it.
Probably a comment will hate you. Like, they'll be like, how dare you not have Civil War in your top 5?
I still really like the movie. It's just there's so many other ones that I like more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
it just doesn't make the top 5. It's probably number 6.
For me, Civil War is that movie where it's like I don't think it does anything particularly the best, but the monumental achievement that movie is and the fact that it doesn't crumble and how much is going on is the reason it bumps up into my top 5, just because it's like,
definitely.
Look at what the fuck they achieved. Like, this is unimaginable, you know? Like, it's that type of thing that gets it there.
Now I'm trying to imagine my top 5 because, like, it's been a while, and I kind of have, like, a sense of it. I think Ant-Man for sure is in that one, just because Ant-Man was so funny, dude.
Just be honest, it's because you're in it. You don't have to lie.
I'm kind
on.
of biased because it was just a funny movie. It's like one of the first comics.
I like Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think that's a great movie too. It's one of my favorite MC. It's in my top 5, so
yeah, there you go. See,
definitely.
To be honest, it's because I'm in it, right?
Well, of course. I mean, I know a celebrity.
I showed my little cousin Ant-Man like a couple of weeks ago, and he absolutely loved the whole bedroom fight scene with the Thomas the Tank Engine and all of that. Like he was going mad. He laughed so loud when the little train just fell over, like with a tiny little. Oh, it was great. Like that movie really, like that's one of the movies you can show to the younger kids and not have to worry about them being emotionally scarred. Unlike movies by certain other studios who will remain nameless.
God damn it, Fox.
I wasn't talking about Fox.
Fair enough.
Dang it, Sony.
I was talking about another movie that
50-50.
Yeah, TASM 2 sucked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no! I just like the.
I was talking about Batman v Superman.
Yeah. It was, I think.
No, we understand that. We were. That's what.
I was trying to dodge that.
Why bother at this point?
No, that was the joke me and Mitch were doing. We were like going around, and no, me too. Amin said, "Fuck."
X-Men Apocalypse was only marginally better than BVS though.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. So
I won't spoil any of the details. I just didn't think much of it.
Yeah. Well,
you might like it. If you do, great. Like, I don't want people to hate movies.
Well, you know what? Since we were talking about Spider-Man just a second ago, let's jump on to our second topic at hand, which apparently the animated Spider-Man film is going to star Miles Morales. Now, this is coming according to El Mayimba, so take this with a giant bucket of salt. So, I mean,
if it's true, I think it's a good idea.
Yep.
You can get Miles more into the mainstream audience, and then you can eventually put him into the live action movies and do it that way.
It's definitely the way to do it, although I am amazed that they have, if it's true, I'm amazed that they have the balls to do it as a cinematic release animated film.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they can do whatever they want, okay?
Yeah.
Those guys can do no wrong at the moment.
But doesn't it have Avi Arad on it?
Oh, please keep him the fuck away.
Now I just got depressed. You say Avi Arad. I'm like all optimistic. It's like Avi. Oh.
I just trust Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They're hilarious guys. They know their stuff.
Yeah, they do. And it's one of these things where like I'm super excited for the prospect if it's Miles Morales. And I think like what Tom said is like I think what we're all agreeing on is if you get this character into the people's mind now and you make this movie for let's say like $100 million, right, for an animated film, and you make like $400 million, you're prepping people for in a decade when Miles Morales is on live action, the animated one will already have done a couple movies. People will be ready for the change and they'll know that the character is so like I could definitely see this, and honestly if it is this, I'll be more excited than I wasn't if it's just Peter Parker again, so.
If they do that, though, do you think they'll reboot his origins? Do you think they'll do his origin story again, or do you think they'll continue where the cartoon left off?
I think they'll do what the cartoon did and just have him in a separate...
Yeah.
See, I hope so, because at this point, I don't really want to see... Even if it's not Peter Parker, I don't really want to see another Spider-Man origin story. I'm just kind of done with Spider-Man origin stories in general now.
His origins is slightly different, but...
Yeah, I know. It's a great story that I'd love to see on film, but if I've already seen it in the animated movie, I won't really care about seeing it 5 years later.
I wouldn't mind it if it's one of those movies that starts off and he's been Spider-Man for like 3 months, and he's like, so you all know the story about Peter Parker, right? Well, this is my story, and it quickly gives you 2 minutes of how he got his powers, and it's like, all right, now let's get into the story, like...
See, I would like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't need, like, his whole complex backstory, and like, it's an animated movie, so it needs to go and kick off right into action and have a moral story behind it that's somewhat relevant. It can't just be like, okay, we're going to tell you this origin for 50 minutes. It's like, nope.
It would be incredibly ballsy of them to start their animated Spider-Man universe with the death of Peter Parker, though. Because you kind of need that for Miles' origin.
I don't know.
I'd argue you need it. I think it's an important part.
See, I don't know, because Miles was kind of already...
He had the powers, but he wasn't going to be Spider-Man until Peter Parker died.
It was... I don't know. I think you could do it. You could rework it so he doesn't need that factor in it. But
I don't know. That's a big part of what made me love the character.
But at the same time, it's kind of like save that moment for the live action movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because then you can have like 4 live action movies with Tom Holland, and then just like kill him off in the last one and have Miles in it.
This is probably the same conversation they're exactly having leading up to this, because the studio would be nervous as fuck,
I mean, when Peter came back, Miles wasn't too happy when he got punched in the face just for trying to be his successor.
But he got punched in the face by Spider-Woman first, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but
first time she sees him, she like kicks him in the face and calls him an imposter. It's like, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Then when Peter sees him, he's like, give me my web shooters back. And he goes, but your aunt gave them to me. Punched in the face.
Oh, I remember that. I've got to reread Spider-Man. That was such a good comic.
Anything Miles Morales has pretty much been gold, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a smart decision. I think, like, it would be quite a statement, too. Like, just think... Just like when Miles Morales was announced as Spider-Man, I remember seeing it on, like, freaking all the news outlets. if they announce that the new theatrical animated movie is starring, like they're gonna plaster everywhere. New Spider-Man is black. It's gonna be like a huge press. It's free press. Like you can't deny the impact of that. So
it was because you see before Tom Holland was announced as Peter Parker, Miles was trending on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even before Andrew Garfield, I mean, you remember the whole Donald Glover thing?
Oh yeah, it was everywhere.
That whole fiasco. Like he was up for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I still would like to see that movie. Although
didn't Donald Glover voice him in the cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, in one of the
episodes.
But after that, they had someone do it for him.
Rubbish.
That's a shame. Oh, well, that's probably because he's decided to focus on his music.
Which is pretty funny because he does cite that during some interviews after like concerts and stuff, kids come to him and want him to sign their Miles comics for them.
That's
See,
awesome.
that is awesome. That is very cool.
That is pretty cool. It's kind of like, because people did see him. And I mean, obviously, if they ever get to live action, it won't be him. It's going to be like, a completely different person by that point. Oh,
yeah, he'll be well too old. He'll be like 35.
It's like he's too old now.
He'll probably play the dad at that point.
Well, how old was Tobey Maguire when he started? He was like in his early 30s, wasn't he?
I'd say he was late 20s, early 30s, yeah. Must have been.
By Spider-Man 3, he was about 40.
Jesus.
Well, he looked about 40. He might not have actually been 40.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's also Tobey Maguire, so who the fuck cares? But
he just looked like he gave up by the third movie. To be fair.
Yeah.
the magic was gone from his eyes.
Well, would you, if you knew you were making a piece of shit like 3, wouldn't the magic be gone out of your eyes too?
He was just on autopilot the whole movie.
He read the script. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There was a script.
There was a part of a script. They had 12% of a script, okay? 12%.
That's all they had for the first Iron Man movie, and that turned out glorious.
That's true. The outside people gave a fuck working on it.
Yeah, they actually cared.
So, here, let's go on to our next topic here. So, this one, for JoJo should be able to talk to me about this one, I think, Tom. And so, The Flash, Season 2, wrapped up. I see a lot of people hating the ending, and I find myself in this weird...
Why?
I love the fucking ending. Like, that was my favorite part of the entire season.
See, I want to know where you're looking, because I haven't seen anybody, like, hate it, really.
No,
If
I've seen it.
So much on Facebook. I'll send you some screenshots later.
IGN comments, IGN wrap-up talk comments. I've seen so many people just disappoint. I'm like, listen, and like, I made a video talking about this today. In this season, when he almost prevented his mom from dying, but he didn't. He knew better, right? And then he gets his dad. His dad is literally killed in front of him. And then his dad returns in the form of Jay Garrick, but it's a doppelganger. And he just sees, I fucking lost everybody again. And at that moment, he snaps and he creates the Flashpoint paradox. It's like this. It's fucking awesome because he lost everything and he wants to like avoid the heartbreak. Like, he could live knowing his dad was safe, but like, he lost his dad, and it's all because of him. Because he became the Flash is the reason Zoom knows this universe exists.
But,
so like,
because of the end of season 1 is the whole reason Zoom was able to cross over to their universe as well.
And at the same time, I don't think he initially went there. I think he was like, man, I just got to get out of here. He ran, and then he used the Speed Force by accident, because sometimes you just unlock it.
Yeah.
His face, it was intentional.
I think
he knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh, to me, I thought he just ended up there. He's like, you know what? It ends here. And then he goes inside the house and stops him. Then he just makes himself disappear, which, I mean, people were saying, and I even said too, that this could be bringing back the original timeline, the one where it starts in 2020 or whatever, because Eobard Thawne doesn't masquerade as Harrison Wells, so he doesn't start it in 2016.
See, I'm completely... That's exactly like Shay and I were having a conversation about this, because she didn't like the season finale, even though she loved the rest of the season more than me. Like, we were talking about this, and that was the same thing we arrived at, because, like, they're technically in Earth, let's say they're Earth 1, but they're technically in their version of Earth 2, so they're going to restore, like, Earth 0, technically, like you said, which is the original timeline before Eobard jumpstart the accelerator. So I would love if that aspect gets brought into it, and then I honestly think that the Jay Garrick suit was test to see if they can brighten it more. I mean, that suit and that shade red was so fucking perfect and beautiful. Like, I had tears in my eyes. I was like, no, that looks spot on.
It's announced that he's coming back next season as Jay Garrick as well.
No, it was. Really?
I saw it all over the
No,
internet. Even the actor himself confirmed it. Was like,
well,
yeah,
I know I saw Tom Cavanaugh was coming back for
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
because he played Eobard Thawne, masquerading as Harrison Wells. He played Harrison Wells from Earth 2, and now he's playing Harrison Wells from Earth 1. This guy just does everything. I love him, dude. He's awesome.
No, I've got him on my Facebook, and like he shared links to like all the stories saying that he was going to be back and stuff. He's like, I can't wait to come back and all this.
He's
Like
awesome.
he seems proper psyched to be playing Jay Garrick, be playing the Flash again. Like,
And
I think he
obviously,
can't
I
wait.
gotta look that up.
And
Let
I
me see.
think they're gonna go with all that. It's like when you look at it, I find a lot can be done the right way in season 3, and I mean season 2 was largely for how much I did enjoy it. There was a lot of retread over season 1. Like it felt weird, and like when it came to the ending, I also had to reflect on the scene where he's in the Speed Force and he's talking to his mom, and I think that kind of also had a lot of impact on him. So.
Oh, I love that Speed Force. Well, just the part where he's in the Speed Force, actually, because besides that, it was kind of like them fighting a zombie or something.
Yeah.
But when he was actually in the Speed Force, it was a pretty cool moment, and how I think it's weird because the Speed Force is this energy or whatever, but I think there is going to be a moment where he probably is the one who creates it, because it seems like he's God, quote unquote, Barry, because he's the chosen one, kind of.
Well, when Barry, like in comics, when Barry does, it's an actual physical place. He can pull people into the Speed Force, and there he is God, essentially.
Yeah, and it seems like they want, like, when in that Speed Force episode, it seemed like the Speed Force want him to always be the Flash more so than anybody else. They will always want him. And it might be because in the future, he's the one who is the Speed Force. I don't know. It's a weird thing with time travel and Speed Force. And it's one of those things that goes too comic-y for the show that they have to maybe take a step back so it doesn't, like, confuse everybody. But it's just, I do like the Flashpoint aspect of it. And I don't think a lot of people are thinking, oh, is this going to affect every show? I don't really think so, because I think it'll be contained in the Flash, and then in the, like, when it does the crossover, they'll have like we said before, the crisis thing where Barry comes back and is trying to fix the timeline, and he does, but it ends up being different where Supergirl's now in this world.
But here's the thing, though, like, whatever happens in this, right? At any point, like, let's say in the next season when it starts, if he's back in the normal world, like, let's say he just went over there, he stops his mom from being killed, shouldn't that ripple affect everything now in the future? Like, it kind of has to, right? Yeah, so, like, I think the ramifications will have to be something like that, and it's kind of crazy to think about how much could actually change, Like, there's a lot of stuff happening.
But I know
this is going to change Arrow as well.
No, it does affect Arrow, but I don't think the actual TV show, like when they're doing the show, is going to change. I think it's going to be contained to the Flash TV show, where maybe we'll see Oliver not actually be Green Arrow, but we'll see that on the Flash, because it's one of those things where it won't change until probably the crossover, when they can actually cross over. So
I'm thinking whatever happens will probably be resolved by then. I'm thinking it'll be a half-season arc.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. But the one thing is, like, it's the same thing with Flashpoint. When he fixes whatever, like, he goes back and makes sure he stops himself from saving his mother, it's not going to be a Flashpoint where someone takes memories away or whatever. Like, we just realized they did that.
Yeah.
Because it's actually going to go back.
Years.
It's going to be actual in the, like, it's going to go back to the original, like, well, not the original, but it's going to go back to season 1 and season 2 before he saved his mother. But this time now, Supergirl's in it. But it's just one of those things. I don't think, like, I get what you're saying, that it's going to affect Arrow, Legends, but I don't think it's going to.
Do you think they do something like this? Like, let's say we pick up and he's, like, in an alternate reality. Like, he wakes up suddenly and he doesn't have his powers, right? But he's getting these flashes in his head. Haha, flashes, get it? Like, of an alternate reality, because he has messed up the timeline. And like you said, like, he has to now recreate this accident, and then it's going to restore him, because by the time the crossover happens, he has to be back in this new universe, whatever's happening. I mean, they're doing a 4 fucking TV show crossover. Like, that's insane,
This could be the reason, like we were saying. Like, I mean, I don't think we kind of knew about it. I think we were guessing that something like that could happen, but now that it actually happened, this could be the reason for the crossover when it gets resolved, because they all help out each other, which would be cool. But it's I don't know, like, is he gonna be the Flash? Because in Flashpoint he isn't when he saves his mother, but he could still be. But everything's different. Maybe he never meets Cisco. Maybe he never meets Caitlin.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those things where he's not the Flash and he's just working at the at the police department, and suddenly someone gets brought in that's familiar, and he's near them, and then he gets this weird vision. He's like, "Whoa, what was that?" And it's like I think they play around with it a little bit like that, and then watch, we're gonna get fucking Barry. Like break through a dream, being like, you gotta take the Speed Force. You gotta save lives.
The thing is, though, he should people are gonna wonder like, how's he technically remembering him from before and remember to save his mother? Because the Speed Force protects him. Speed Force, like it's like in 12 Monkeys where time moves around him. This is like time moves around him in the Speed Force, and he can remember all that. Because I remember, like, at the end of the Flashpoint comic, when he gives Bruce the letter, he remembers Flashpoint universe. Yep. Like, he remembers when Thomas Wayne was Batman. So he's going to remember all this and everything.
How good was that moment in Rebirth, though, when he remembers Wally? I'm tearing up just remembering it now.
Well, yeah, I like it. But that would be awesome if we saw a moment like that where Wally is a kid Flash and he's like, you have to remember, Barry, this isn't your... or whatever.
Oh, could you imagine how awesome that would be? It's like, what if the new season starts and like it is, Barry doesn't have powers and there's a Flash in that universe and it turns out it is Barry, like the actual Wally, like he's like in a suit and everything. I think that'd be pretty fucking sick.
See, I don't know. You can do so much with it. The thing is just kind of not to go too far with it, because then it might like blow up in your face, but just far enough where like this is just crazy that it's gonna work, and then you do that. But I don't know, it's just so much you could do with it. Right now it's just the anticipation that's killing me, because I don't know what they're gonna do, and they haven't. I feel like out of all the TV shows that DC is doing right now, this is the one that's most loved.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Supergirl more, to be fair, but
I like Supergirl more, but this is
Flash is more popular.
One. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. This is more loved. It's more loved by more people. So it's that. And I think second place would have to be probably Legends.
Yeah, and the Arrow subreddit changed to the Daredevil subreddit.
That was amazing. I laughed so hard at that.
Because of what Stephen Amell said, though, that apparently they might go back to what they were doing in season 1. I except for the killing part. It gets me a little bit excited because I kind of don't want, like, I get everybody hates Felicity. I don't hate her as much, but it's because she's just everywhere. I
like her when she's written well. I just don't like it because just the quality of the writing for her character dropped so much from season 2 onwards that she became worse and worse.
Season 1, everybody fucking loved that character because she wasn't like in everything, but it's like when you do too
season
much
2,
of that,
she was great.
Yeah, it's like fucking, what was her name? Lois in Smallville. At first, people are like, "Hey, we don't know if we want her." But see, she slowly grew into it. So by the end of the series, you're like, "Yeah, she's fucking great." But it's like,
and then everybody started hating Lana.
Oh yeah, Lana, fuck Lana.
So everybody's like, "No, we fell in love with Lois. Forget Lana." And I was the same thing. I was like, I was like, forget Lana. Lois is such a better like character in what she does for Clark.
Yeah.
But
God, yeah.
Well, the writing for Lana again was very, very weak.
Well,
especially towards the end. Oh god, do you remember when she was possessed by a witch?
Yes.
What she needs to do is do what they did with Lana, in which in season 7 of Smallville, towards the end, Lana like basically just leaves and let Clark be a hero, and that's what Felicity needs to do: leave to let Oliver be a hero, because while she's there, he's not going to be the hero he can be. She's kind of just weighing him down. And even though in the show they kind of make it where it looks like Felicity's pushing him up to be a hero, from what I can see, it's not really that way. She's bringing him down.
Oh yeah, totally.
So, I mean, she basically nuked a city, even though she was just trying to stop it. They nuked the city, and there's kind of not a lot of fallout to that. There needs to be some fallout to that.
They were upset. They were kind of devastated. There was a lot more fallout to that than
Mom and Dad were fighting. That's kind of a fallout.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
I tell you what interests me though about the whole Flashpoint changing the universe thing and Supergirl coming in is one of the big problems that Supergirl has faced in its first season that everybody keeps talking about is the fact that they haven't cast anyone as Superman. They just keep using like a shot of his foot or his shoulder or a CGI Superman. What if in this Flashpoint universe Supergirl arrives on Earth at the same time as Kal-El when he's still a baby? And she's...
Nah, they're not.
Nah, I wouldn't like that.
But then you can have Teenage Cal, have Supergirl come first, and like that's got to be fixed clearly because that just shouldn't happen.
Well, Supergirl's gonna go through a ton of changes because I guarantee you, Callista Flockhart is gonna be back for 5, maybe 6 episodes.
Yeah, because of the whole she only works out of LA, right? And she doesn't want to possibly go to Vancouver. Which sucks because I like Cat Grant. Cat Grant.
She grew on me.
Yeah.
She really did grow on me. And I think it was that one episode where it might have been when Carla lost her powers, but Cat Grant started growing on me, and I was just like, man, she's such a cool character. She was such a big mentor
up to the
Supergirl.
Thanksgiving episode, her character sucks, and at that moment, she like turns on this switch, and her character gets fucking amazing throughout the rest of the series. So
yeah, I like
she turns into the character from the comics.
Yeah,
but at the same time, when Supergirl comes into this universe, is it Supergirl? Is it Supergirl and her friends, or is it the whole? Like Superman, the whole national city, and it's like they've always been there. You know what I mean? Like, what if Barry changes back, and this time Supergirl's always been there? Like, he's gonna remember, hey, why don't we just call Kara? She could help. It's because she's always been there. Are they? You think? But it's because
that's one thing I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, she's always been there.
That'd be kind of cool.
With this big crossover, presuming Martian Manhunter is even still in the show at this point, do you think Martian Manhunter will cross over as well? Because I'd love to see that character cross over with the Flash and stuff like that. Like, he would be amazed meeting a Green Alien.
I think he will be. I mean, at the very end, what did he do at Supergirl? I forgot.
I'm trying to remember what happened to him at the end. I think he was reinstated as the head of the the head of the department kind of thing.
I think he went with Kara to go check on a spaceship that fell, which everybody's saying is possibly Superboy.
Yeah, they were at a dinner party, weren't they? And they saw like a spaceship crash.
Oh yeah, they were celebrating in their house. It looked like even like a series finale that they were doing. I was like, oh wait, nope.
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
So I don't know.
But that's my thing of how Barry's gonna switch it up and not save his mom, and then Supergirl's always been there, and they'll be like, talking about the DEO like it's always been there since season 1. They're gonna be talking about Win and Cisco are probably like friends on MySpace or something. I don't know.
See, how cool would it be if, like, I mean, I know Amanda Waller's been killed off, but it's gonna be an alternate timeline anyway, possibly. How cool would it be if, like, Amanda Waller takes over the DEO? Like, I mean, I know that's not typically her job. I would love to see that sort of character take over.
Well, we'll see what they do with that and like Cadmus and all that shit, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they reference Cadmus and Supergirl at the very end.
It's gonna be the big part of season 2, they said so.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot that could happen now that it's all in this big like CW DC TV universe. And then I don't know if y'all heard about like I guess it's a theme running around that if you're in a TV show for one of these universes and you're a lady, you gotta hate that you're not being part of the movies because Willa Holland, who plays Thea, and Chloe Bennett, who plays Daisy, they both like said, oh, the movies need to work better and be like they need to put us in the TV shows.
Like, I mean, if you remember when I went to the last Comic-Con I went to with the other Tom, like we got to interview like Willa Holland and a few of the others, and she said in that how pissed off she was when they were basically told to write out the Suicide Squad, and she talked about that over a year ago.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like she's really upset about this. Like she keeps talking about it.
Well, they're both upset, and they have power.
They have a right to be. Like she was saying, like we had so many plans for like the Suicide Squad. Like she said, like we were gonna have Harley Quinn in the show and stuff like as a regular like for a while, like regular guest star, and like
I remember they had an actress.
They had a body double and they had Tara Strong voice her for one shot, and then they were like, yeah, that was us setting up a much larger thing with Harley, and then they were like, nope, can't do it. She was really annoyed about that.
To a certain extent, that's kind of I get why she's annoyed, but at the same time, we're getting the movie, and I like what I'm seeing from the movie, so that's.
I liked
but that's her argument as well. Like she's saying that Gustin and Amell should play the characters in the movies.
Yeah. I get that. I agree. I thought when but then I remember someone said, well, if Gustin is in the movie, he won't be in the TV show or something like that.
Well, did you see what Tom Cavanagh said about this? Like he was genius.
Oh yeah, him too.
Oh yeah.
He was like saying Grant Gustin is a damn fine actor. Like if you want him, if you think he won't fit in, like if Zack Snyder thinks he won't fit in his DC universe because it's a different tone, you're just disrespecting him as an actor. He will play the part however you want him to. And like I had so much respect for him talking out and saying that as well, because he was classy about it as well.
This is the time for every like either actor or TV actor to say something about the movies. So
yeah, even Jeremy Irons has had a pop this week.
But It's one of the things I also too would have like. I get what you're saying about how like Grant Gustin is a fine actor. He could have fit well. I could say the same for Stephen Amell because I just think that he is because there's some moments in Arrow where I'm like he's good. It's just he's being bogged down by some of the writing and also some of like the storylines they put for his show that he doesn't get as much to shine. And that's a main reason why I still watch Arrow is because I'm for Stephen Amell. I champion Stephen Amell. I think he's an awesome guy and a pretty good good actor. And I just think he's getting like not ruined, but he's just not getting what he should be on his show. Mm-hmm. And it's the one that started it. You'd think it would be the one that they would want to focus on to get better.
Yeah, but he's got TMNT now, so who cares about Arrow?
Oh, well, he's gonna be fine in Arrow. I mean, TMNT too. I think I'm gonna see it, so I think he looks fine in that. So.
I'm seeing.
I think it comes out next. Yeah, doesn't it come out next week?
No, it comes out this week.
Oh, is it this week?
Yeah. Nobody knows. Well, let's go on to our last topic at hand. So X-Men's talk. The X-Men's.
Bye, JoJo.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'll be back.
Can I just say that the best opening part about that movie was the Uncharted 4 trailer that they had?
Yes, it was. Aw. So here we go. So I've been wrapping my head around this. Maybe someone can tell me what was Apocalypse's goal? What was he trying to fucking do in this movie?
At which point? Because he was trying to do three things and none
at any point of the movie, because none of it made fucking sense. He was the least threatening X-Men villain since fucking I don't know. Like, God, that was awful.
He couldn't do anything. He got his horsemen to do everything for him, despite the fact that he could have done it himself.
He got Magneto to do everything. The other three didn't do fucking anything.
Like, he gets a mutant with like magnet powers to control metal, and so he changes it so he can control the Earth or like the minerals in the Earth and stuff. So suddenly
he just essentially made Magneto a stronger magnet.
Yeah, why?
But like, now he can like lift sand and like make like bricks crumble.
But here's the big thing.
It's just.
Why is this big thing? All right, here I am. I'm going to recruit my 4 horsemen. The first 4 people he fucking runs into, he's like, "What's your power?" "Oh, you have wings. Sweet." What the fuck would you recruit that asshole for? Like, go recruit anybody else. Like,
just think though how many mutants there are that have telekinetic abilities. Any one of them with like the added power.
Apocalypse clearly has telepathy. He knew everything about everyone.
Telekinesis is. Magneto's only powerful when there's metal around.
Yeah, but the entire Earth, I can understand that one because there is everything's got like a
magnetic pole and magnetic shift. Yeah.
So I can understand that one, but
yeah, I mean, I got it, but it's just if someone with telekinesis like Jean Grey was taken over by Apocalypse instead, they would be like 10 times more powerful because they can already do all the shit that he just gave Magneto anyway.
But
they could control the Earth without having to worry about
she's too powerful to be controlled.
Okay, let me
she just roasted.
I used Jean Grey as an
that annoyed me. Why would you kill her?
And also, let me tell you, like, my biggest problem. And everybody, I think, here and everybody listening knows how much I fucking love Magneto. So it's like, this entire movie, his entire character arc is, I hate that they took my family from me. My family's gone, so I am a fucking villain, right? So, knowing this, and seeing him, he has a son. And his son, at the end of the movie, fucking, like, what was it? Mystique is like, "Are you going to tell him that he's your father?" And he just looks up, he's like, "Nah." I'm like, "You motherfucker! Yeah. He's going to become a villain if you tell him right now he knows he has offspring."
I liked Magneto in this movie. I thought Fassbender did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
But his family wasn't needed at all because Apocalypse took him back to Auschwitz. What was the point in even...
I liked that sequence.
Like, the Auschwitz scene was probably one of the best scenes in the movie. And then, so that's completely pointless. Quicksilver's entire character arc is then thrown away.
Yeah, that's the scene that made me laugh out loud.
But and then Mystique clearly goes and tells Storm because Storm asked Quicksilver about it. It's like, what are you doing? Like, who's writing this at the end? It just completely falls apart.
Yeah, it's just funny because Quicksilver's all, "No, I'm just gonna watch him."
Yeah. Nice. And it's like, right there, finish a character arc for fun.
And also, why is Charles the dumbest motherfucker on this planet? Like, seriously,
He's supposed to be super intelligent, but he's really dumb in this movie.
For 2.5 decades now has turned his back on you, been the villain, been the reason you're paralyzed, fucking made the White House crash on people and recontrol murderous robots against humanity. They're standing there, and he's just like, once again, they do that stupid fucking X-Men speech. You know they're gonna come after you, Charles. Oh, I know, but they're better than that. All right, see you at next time. I'm like, just jail the motherfucker.
But that's the thing. For the last 3 movies, they've had the same character arcs. They've put them all back in the same place at the start of each movie.
Yeah.
And then end the same way. It's just like, can we actually get some progression with anyone?
Nothing happens. Like, this movie, if this movie didn't exist, it wouldn't fucking matter because this movie's pointless. Like, it's a pointless fucking movie.
This is why I said last night in the last show, take Apocalypse out of it, get rid of all of that crap, and just call it Second Class and focus on the new actors, because they were great. Every single one of them. I was worried before, but I loved them at coming out of this.
The only one I didn't like was Sophie Turner's like attempt at an accent. I don't even know. Like, I didn't like.
I thought she did fine. I didn't think it was that bad.
Hearing the accent at first, I hated it, but as the movie went on, it grew on me a little bit.
It just became. It was definitely not any worse than Halle Berry's stupid accent.
Oh no, it's far better.
If you compare it just by X-Men standards.
Did anyone get that infomercial in the beginning and at the end of the movie?
No.
About the piracy.
No, we don't get stuff over here. It's just all.
It was just out of nowhere. They had Sophie just explain to the audiences that we had over 15,000 people work on this film, and we were a family. And we like it, if you paid to see the movie, and they had the piracy thing. Piracy is a crime and stuff like that.
As if the pirates are in the back of the theater thinking, like, wait, I'm not allowed to do this? I'm breaking the law? I had no idea.
Oh, God.
I should stop what I'm doing.
And let's talk about one of my biggest gripes with this fucking movie, right? So, Weapon X. So, at the end of Days of Future shit, right? So, Mystique has Wolverine, and he's like mind-wiped or whatever. So, she's Stryker. And then somehow they completely ignore that she was a villain at the end of the last goddamn movie. And she's now leading the X-Men. He's somehow in Stryker's hands, and that's that. Like, they never explain any of that shit.
Here's the thing with that ending. In one of it's either the road cut or the normal one, Singer's commentary, he says, we only added that in there to make it more of a punchy ending. That was going to never hold any significance in any story.
See, you don't do that when you make a movie, because it ruins the integrity of the whole thing. Like, I mean, they cut the whole mall scene from this movie, from Apocalypse as well, and that's a scene I would have loved to have seen.
The new cast's entire development is just on the cutting room floor. Like, why?
I don't know if you guys have had a chance, but there's an interview going around with the girl that played Jubilee.
Yeah,
and
there's gonna be a Jubilee cut.
The interview is so great because she says there's like about 25 minutes, and they go in depth to her character and why she's one of the X-Men now, and how she's overcome her fears, and like how Charles is great, and like when they're hanging out at the mall, how like there's other mutants there, and for the first time, her and like Nightcrawler start bonding because Nightcrawler looks way different, but no one is paying attention because he's at the mall and he's just one of many mutants, and he starts to like tear up, and she's like with him. I'm like, why couldn't that be in there? Like, give me that fucking movie. That's X-Men right there, It's like, God
that's
damn.
the movie I wanted to see.
Yeah, that's the exact movie I want to see, but it's like, no, here's this fucking dude that flings sand at you for whatever the fuck he's doing. Like,
but there was some stuff I really liked, but the cons of this movie are just too much for me.
Oh yeah, there's things I like in this movie, but the negatives are far bigger than the things I like, which is the problem with the movie.
It's like, it's tonally all over the place. You get, Havoc accidentally blows up the X-Mansion. Why didn't Apocalypse just do that himself? And then when everyone's about to die, Quicksilver magically appears, and you get this comedy scene. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then directly after you get a comedy scene, then instantly you transition into this Weapon X scene that's just shoehorned in
also, is fucking Quicksilver still living with his mom a decade after he was like 22 and living in his basement? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't he like in his mid-30s in this movie?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's either 30 or fucking 50 at this point.
They all look about 20, especially Havoc, who's supposed to be like 30 something at this point. It's like they all look like kids.
this is the problem they have now, because the next one's going to be in the 90s apparently. So
age them up, get some makeup, something.
Exactly, like who is going to buy the new cast being 10 years older than they are in this one?
Yeah, considering they're already like 15 years older than their first appearance, and they don't look any older from that.
Exactly, it's just like,
especially Nicholas Hoult as Beast when he's not in his blue mode. Like he still looks about like 20 years old.
Beast is completely pointless in these movies.
Oh yeah, get rid of Beast entirely.
Does nothing.
Honestly, I would have been fine if they just completely recast him, just had Kelsey Grammer come back and just be like, yeah, you know,
Or just keep him blue.
Just keep him blue. That's all. Yeah, keep him blue.
I also didn't get the fact that Apocalypse is the reason that Charles is bald.
Oh my
when
god!
his CGI hair floats away, that's so fucking bad.
So are they ever gonna explain how the other Charles went bald? Did he just face Apocalypse and fucking blank that out of his mind? Like no one ever mentioned it in the OG continuity?
Rogaine doesn't work on mutants.
Oh, why'd you have to bring that shit up? Fuck.
See, it would have been so much easier if they just made his baldness like a side effect of him becoming like more mentally powerful. Like somehow his brain was creating some sort of force field that was cutting his hair for him.
The perfect time they could have done that was when Apocalypse somehow connected to him when he was using Cerebro. Just have his hair come out there. Like he's getting all this power. Have his hair fall out there, not when I don't know the body snatcher Apocalypse is going to come out.
What was Apocalypse like? So now let's get on to Apocalypse's dumb fucking plan, right? So what exactly was he trying to accomplish? Because it's like, he's like, only the fittest will survive, right? Like, it's survival of the fucking fittest. And then, why didn't you just do what President Shaw fucking wanted to do if he was, like, president, right? It's like, all right, launch the nukes, which he did, then just make them fall down, whoever's a mutant will fucking survive or whatever, dumb plot, and then you just rule everything. Like, why didn't he just do that?
No,
because when he
wanted to do it himself.
When he touched the TV, it didn't tell him that. So,
yeah.
Because apparently he saw Age of Ultron before, and he knows that's how you learn everything.
I love that in the 80s, a television in this like small village is somehow connected to the entire world. Yeah, in the 80s. Somehow they're getting programming from all over the world.
That's another thing. It's set in the 80s, but they do not take advantage of that at all.
No.
Like, you can tell no one cared who made this movie. They did not care.
Yeah. It's just, this movie was so all over the place that I felt like it was missing... It was missing a movie. Like, there was...
Yeah.
It was just... It wasn't a complete thing. It was just a thing that exists because it needs to exist. There's no other reason for this movie to exist.
Did anyone see Stan Lee's cameo?
Oh.
Yeah.
He was just staring at the nukes going up in space.
To be honest...
His most pointless cameo yet.
To be honest, I had so much popcorn on my fucking thing and like this giant Slurpee while watching this that I had. It was fucking amazing, so I was more occupied with a Slurpee.
He's having a sugar rush.
And I also would like lean over and complain every like 2 minutes about something happening in the movie, so that was kind of important too.
But what I don't understand, there seems to be so many people. Like this movie's split right down the middle.
Oh yeah.
But then you get like people who like to go, "Oh, why does everyone hate it?" And people going, "Like, why does everyone like it?" It's just like
it's BVS all over again.
I think it's a bit more, bit more divisive than BVS, maybe. But
yeah, I think BVS had more of a. Yeah, there was definitely a lot more negativity.
But see, I'll say it right now. Watching both movies, I like Batman v Superman more, and I'll tell you why. At least that movie had something that they were trying to do. Like, it feels like, okay, yes, it's a gradual progression. Like, this movie did nothing. And once again, they're like, oh, here's the fucking Phoenix Force, right? And I'm like, oh, not again, fucking
See,
Christ.
I could be fine with that if it just didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, if they alluded to it a bit more, like when she's having that nightmare scene, and maybe...
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, but it's
Plus, she was
nowhere.
completely fine afterwards.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, let's go back to the school." And I'm sure. I'm sure by now, what's his name has rebuilt it.
And it's one of these
Rebuilding
things where,
mansion
like,
builds character.
But we're getting the rumors. Apparently, they're gonna, they're doing the next like 2 or 3 movies right after this, a new trilogy. But Bryan Singer wants to step away. But the whole reason he said he wanted to come back was to retell the Phoenix saga the way he intended to. So, what's the point of this movie again?
Yeah, that's what I... No.
But that's bullshit anyway, because as if he intended to set it in the 80s or 90s with them as younger characters anyway. Like, it's bullshit. He's just making up shit at this point.
We all know how it's going to end. Wolverine's just going to impale Jean Grey all over again.
See, this is what I'm hoping, and I hope they do this, because it will be probably the best X-Men movie ever. Is they have the Shi'ar like kind of notice that she's using the Phoenix, and then they come to Earth and do whatever with Jean, and you have that as the movie with this new cast. Because this is just literally, we need a third film in this trilogy, and to get them from A to B.
Yep.
Just do anything.
I mean, technically, this was the third film in the trilogy, but it didn't actually do anything, so it might as well not have existed. We need a satisfying conclusion. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I bet if Bryan Singer comes back for the next movie, they will not have those awesome costumes they had at the end of this one.
He's not doing the next one.
Yeah, he said that last time.
No, he said he's leaving.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's what he wants to do. He wants to let someone talented take over, like Matthew Vaughn, to establish something good. Then he's gonna come in and butt fuck that out of the quality they had. So that's great.
He was just ruining movies until he got his 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
What about that jab, though, that he made X-Men 3 in the movie, even though his movies now have fucked up the timeline way, way more than X-Men 3 ever did? Like, there's way more blame you can put for the state of the X-Men timeline you can put on Days of Future Past and this than you ever could for X-Men 3.
Yeah, that was also
at this point, X-Men 3 is like... I would watch X-Men 3 over this movie again.
But it's also a weird joke to have, because that joke... None of the bad third movies were really around when Return of the Jedi came out.
Yeah. Plus, this is technically the third movie in the First Class trilogy, so is he saying that he knows this movie is shit?
I think it's unintentionally like self-referring, but it's more of a jab at X3.
I just saw that, I just rolled my eyes and was just like, what the fuck are they doing?
Just like, where's the rest of this scene? Show me the whole scene.
Yeah, we wish. So, any closing comments on X-Men Apocalypse?
It made me excited for the next one. And that's the first X-Men film that's ever done that.
I was psyched for X-Men 3 after X-Men 2 came out.
Yeah,
I was so hyped for that movie. Even after he left, I was like, no, you know what? He's set up enough. They can't ruin it. They can't.
See, I was psyched for the one coming after First Class. I was like, it's such a fucking good movie. Can only get better.
And then Matthew Vaughn left. But we got Kingsman, so I guess it kind of worked out.
Yeah, true.
What were the numbers?
All right, so let's talk about that. So here we go. So I uber failed because I said 102 million. Mitch said 85. Tristan said 60, and Tom said 0. So Tristan wins.
I added 1 penny over your estimate in the end.
And actually, they also released it on a 4-day weekend. So if you look at the 4-day weekend, I was 5 million.
Don't do this.
So
5 million up.
So Tristan and Mitch technically both win if we do 3 or 4 day weekend, whatever. You know what? It doesn't matter because it's a bust. Like, this movie is a bust compared to other ones. Like, how bad is it that with inflation, the movie has made less than First Class, now it's considered a quote unquote failure. So
even though the budget for that movie was significantly less as well, so technically it made a huge profit.
And Deadpool whipped its ass. So
yeah. I do wish Deadpool was released after this, though, so it would look even better by comparison. And that line about rebuilding the mansion as well would have been extra funny.
True.
Because they make that joke like it's a known thing in the X-Men universe and the mansion keeps getting blown up, even though I don't remember it happening in any of the movies. Maybe Days of Future Past in the deleted scene.
It's the first time it's been blown up.
So, I mean, I loved in Deadpool they referring...
blowing up a mansion builds character.
Yeah, rebuilding mansion builds character. I loved it. I loved that line because it was referencing the comics and not the movies.
Yeah,
it was referencing far superior material.
Well, I guess we're going to end this podcast then. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our 4 topics that we helped stretch for a fucking hour. So
damn, that felt more than an hour.
True. So we shall catch you guys next time then, and thank you for joining. Actually, anybody want to close out with anything? I always forget to do that.
No.
More episodes of Tom Talks coming soon. Thank you, everybody that's been liking and commenting those videos. And fuck you, all the haters who keep sending me death threats.
There we go. That's
Fuck
how
you.
you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah. Fuck the haters.
Go fuck yourselves.
Hail Hydra is what I'm going to end on.
Oh, Hail Hydra. Fuck yeah. What an amazing comic. That was a great issue.
I love that issue.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
I just love all these people complaining about it who clearly have never read a Captain America comic in their life, or they would see what's happening and mile off if they ever read
the
Captain
fucking
America.
issue it happens in, because it's explained what's happening in it.
No,
well, they were too busy burning their issues.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face of the Jewish people who made him, even though one of the Jewish people who made him a Nazi twice.
Wah, wah.
It doesn't matter if he's brainwashed or whatever. That's a MacGuffin. He still was a
It's
Nazi.
so
twice.
clearly either implanted memories or something with the cosmic cube. I don't even read Captain America, and I know enough about Red Skull that you can kind of formulate a theory.
It's clearly Kobik from Standoff. That's my theory.
Mm.
Well, it's clear that by the end of this story arc, like, he's not going to be a Nazi anymore. It's going to be revealed that he never actually was.
Yeah.
Like, we all know that. They're not going to keep him a Nazi. Like, Marvel aren't fucking insane.
So I guess you guys can catch up with that, of course, on Joe and Mitch's podcast, where they talk about that and other developments that will happen with that. So, yeah.
Like Civil War 2, which starts this week.
Woo! So, yeah, you guys follow that along, and I'm pretty sure we'll talk about whatever that is next podcast anyway, but we'll catch you guys next time.